Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to call this meeting to order and go ahead with roll call. Here.
Mrs. Getzke?
Here.
Mrs. Bell?
Here.
Mrs. Anderson? Here.
Okay, if you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll move on to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion? Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and move on to approval of the minutes from the October 2nd, 2025 regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion? Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we will move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Clerk Abeg and governing board members. Veterans Day was Tuesday, November 11th, and was a time to honor all who served in our military and reflect on their dedication and service to our country. Please join me in thanking these fellow staff members, some of our country's distinguished veterans. Also, for those here tonight, or if you have family members who have served, and to all the veterans throughout the Laveen community, know that you have our greatest appreciation for your service as well. Let's give our veterans a round of applause. Each year, the Arizona Department of Education develops an annual achievement profile for every public school based on A through F scale. The system measures student academic growth, proficiency on English language arts, math, and science, and readiness for high school. We are excited to recognize Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy for earning an overall letter grade of A. Will Principal Jessica Epax and 2425 Assistant Principal Bill Stewart please come forward and be recognized for your leadership? Five of our schools were recognized for their outstanding positive behavior intervention and supports, or PBIS programs, on their campuses. These recognitions were presented by the Arizona PBIS Coalition. 4 of these schools received Level 4 awards for their implementation with fidelity of Tier 1, 2, and 3 supports. This is the highest award a school can earn and makes them eligible to be a model PBIS school. Will the principals of these 4 schools please come forward when called? Congratulations to Laveen Elementary School Principal Melissa Garcia, Desert Meadows Elementary School Principal J.P. Ketchum, Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy Principal Jessica Epax, and MC Cash Elementary School Principal Nicole Goodwin. Congratulations. Congratulations also goes to Levine Leadership Academy at Cheatham Farms Principal Sarah Schaefer for earning a Level 2 award for their implementation of fidelity of Tier 1 supports. So congratulations to Levine Leadership Academy. Oh, we do have a flag. Last month, we recognized our 2025 Pinnacle of Leadership Award recipients. This is the highest award an administrator can receive in our district. Data analyst coordinator Catherine Crary was not able to join us last month, so we are excited to celebrate her tonight. Catherine was selected for her outstanding support of student achievement and instructional excellence, including creating school-based data workbooks, leading all major assessment projects, and supporting the selection of the M-Class Early Literacy Exam, and her support of educator effectiveness calculations. Congratulations, Catherine Crary. I have a couple other exciting news about our administrative team. Julie Carson was appointed by the Arizona Association of School Business Officials as their Director of Purchasing. She is our purchasing supervisor. Julie went through an application and selection process, and she most deservedly was selected. As Director of Purchasing, she will co-chair ASBO's annual Vendor Buyer Conference in January, plan afternoon professional development sessions at bi-monthly meetings, and contribute procurement articles to ASBO's quarterly publication, The Edge. Julie is perfect for this role and will be a great addition to the ASBO board. Wherever you are, Julie, you can wave from there. Congratulations, Julie. Also, Nancy Ramirez, our Director of Federal Grants, recently achieved the Certified Administrator of School Finance and Operations certification from ASBO. This certification is awarded to highly qualified individuals who meet multiple requirements, including demonstrating eligibility, passing a comprehensive exam, and adhering to the ASBO International Certification Code of Conduct. Congratulations to Nancy for this outstanding achievement. Rachel Roach, 8th grade reading and writing teacher at MC Cash Elementary, received the Bear Essential News Teacher of the Month Award. Ms. Roach brings passion and positivity to everything she does, both in the classroom and on the volleyball court. She loves inspiring her students to find joy in reading and to be brave in the attempt, her quote. No matter the challenge, motivating her students to do their best. Congratulations to Ms. Roach. Our 2025 Community Partner Breakfast brought together 90 school and community leaders from faith organizations to corporate and small business partners and civic leaders, including Mayor Kay Gallego and District 8 Councilwoman Keisha Hodge Washington. All of this to collaborate in support of our student success. The event was filled with inspiring conversations, innovative ideas, and meaningful connections. Together, participants explored opportunities for lasting partnerships that strengthen our schools and community. What an incredible day of collaboration and progress towards our aspirational goals. So thank you to everyone that participated. Levine School District proudly earned recognition from Salt River Project as a champion of sustainability for its district-wide installation of energy-efficient lighting. Charlie Martin, our CFO, and members of our support services team, including Daniel Romero and Christopher Noyes, and I represented Levine at the SRP Champions of Sustainability Luncheon held at the beautiful Desert Botanical Garden on November 5th. This award celebrates Levine's continued commitment to innovation and environmental stewardship. On October 21st, at the Levine Education Center, we hosted 121 guests for an informational evening about the new Levine Traditional Academy. Mr. Ketchum, next year's principal at LTA, led the presentation, highlighting the school's academic focus and giving everyone a peek into the future with a captivating flyover video of the construction site. Families had the opportunity to ask questions, receive answers, and take the exciting step of pre-registering their students for the new school year. The energy and enthusiasm from our community were truly wonderful, and we are excited with the strong interest and are on track for a successful launch in August of 2026 for Levine Traditional Academy. We are excited to celebrate our fall intramural sports teams this evening. We'll start with boys basketball. In a hard-fought championship matchup, Vista emerged victorious with a dramatic one-point win over Trailside Point. Both teams battled intensely from start to finish, trading baskets throughout the game. The decisive moment came with just 8 seconds remaining, where Yafet Membratu sank the go-ahead bucket to seal the win for Vista. This evening, we are pleased to welcome, and if you would please come forward, coaches Robert Vaughn and Matthew Downs and Jose Cruz. If you would please come forward. And team captains and student athletes Carter Reed, Rylan LaGreco, Mose Ruda, and Yafet Mebratu. Yes.
Just checking. Because there was another chance.
If you want to see the video, Holly King, one of our employees, and moms of a team member did the video, although it has a lot of mom screaming in it and up and down, but she did a great job. On to softball. What an incredible journey for the Levine Leadership Academy softball team. Just 3 years ago, this group of student athletes fielded a 1-7 season, but never did they stop believing, learning, and growing. Their dedication paid off in spectacular fashion, transforming that record into an undefeated 8-0 regular season and a championship title with a big win over Paseo Point on November 4th. Congratulations to the Cheetahs. the 2025 Levine District Softball Champions. This evening, we welcome coaches Jaden Callahan and Joseph Rueda. If you'd please come forward. And team captains Aiden Ashurst, Julian Lovett, Andrea Ariano, and Ariel Johnson. If you would please come forward. Congratulations, guys.
Good job, guys.
South Mountain Community College men's basketball team brought energy and inspiration to 3 Levine schools this September and October with their High Five Fridays outreach campaign. Players cheered on students, played basketball, and spread positivity across our campuses, reminding everyone to always be their best. MC Cash culinary students are cooking up success. As part of their college and career exploration courses, these young chefs earned their food handler cards and toured the Culinary Art Institute in Scottsdale, one of the most prestigious in the country. They explored exciting culinary careers, discovered earning potentials, and gained hands-on experience in the kitchen. To top it all off, each student crafted delicious chocolate treats to share with their principals. A principal and assistant? No, okay. To share with their families and celebrate their sweet achievements. Get it? Sweet achievement? There's a whole team that writes these for me. So, all right. Rogers Ranch STEM Academy 5th, 6th, and 8th graders are diving into the Letters to a Pre-Scientist program. This fun, hands-on pen pal experience that connects students with real-life STEM professionals. Throughout the year, each student will exchange handwritten letters with a mentor who shares their interests, sparking curiosity and inspiring future career dreams. In their 3rd year of hosting the program, Rogers Ranch has experienced how powerful these connections can be. Students return to class energized, bring real-world science to life, and demonstrate that learning truly extends beyond the classroom. The Native American Pack Family Night was a beautiful celebration of culture, community, and connection. Families and staff came together to create corn husk dolls and beaded corn necklaces, hands-on crafts tied to the traditions of Southwestern tribes and the spirit of gratitude. The evening also showcased the district's new Native American curriculum resources and digital scrapbook project, honoring the rich tribal heritage within our schools. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who made this inspiring night possible. Students showcased their spirit and teamwork at the district-sponsored Special Olympics last week, rotating through exciting activity stations like basketball, yoga, volleyball, and golf. Students cheered one another on as with every challenge. A huge shout out to our amazing staff and our community volunteers, including students from Cesar Chavez High School, whose energy and support made the day unforgettable. We are now in November, but the end of October we had a lot of fall festivals. So from festive games and pumpkin-themed activities to laughter-filled gatherings with our amazing families, our campus-based fall festivals were a wonderful celebration of community and togetherness. Thank you to our staff, families, and volunteers who made this season so special. And now we're going to move on to our Employees of the Month, and we have 2 veteran employees that we are recognizing tonight. Our classified Employee of the Month is Maria Castro, Child Nutrition Team Member from MC Cash Elementary School. Come on up. Maria shines brightly in her 17th year with the Child Nutrition Department at MC Cash. Known for her hard work, kindness, and constant smile, she goes above and beyond to help others to make every student feel welcomed and cared for. Thank you, Maria, for being a true ray of sunshine in our district.
So I know it's kind of cliche in education to say that people treat all kids like their own. However, about 4 or 5 years ago, Abby, Maria's granddaughter, came through the MC Cash cafeteria as a kindergartner, and I don't know if you've ever been in a kindergarten first day of school in the cafeteria. It's an experience, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of convincing children that we don't have what they want to eat, even though they've requested it, and that these are your options. And I watched Abby go through the line and Maria tell her, which one of these do you want? And Abby picked her thing and went on, and then I watched 87 other children go through the line, and Maria treat them exactly the same as she treated her own granddaughter. And I've been watching her do that for 7 years, 5, 6, 7 years now, and so she really does have the patience and treats all kids like they are her own. So, congratulations.
And I'll just add to that quickly. Maria is a veteran, so she brings a real depth of knowledge to the cash team and just our entire department. So she's the go-to in the cafeteria. She's a leader along with her cafeteria manager. She trains all of our new employees and just, isn't afraid to come in and say, I think we could do this better. And so we just really appreciate all your years of experience and knowledge, and we just are so grateful for you. So thank you so much.
Our certified employee of the month is Sarah Steele, school counselor from Trailside Point Performing Arts Academy. Sarah is celebrating her 19th year in the Levine School District. During this time, she transitioned from classroom teacher to school counselor. Her compassion, empathy, and thoughtful guidance have helped countless students navigate challenges with confidence. Thank you, Ms. Steele, for your unwavering commitment and for being a shining example of heart and excellence. Sarah Steele.
Everything that was said in that nomination is so true. But Ms. Still is truly an important part of the Trailside community, not just the Trailside, but the entire district. Ms. Still mentors new and existing counselors. She is also everywhere when you need her. She is really the heart of Trailside. You can't think of Trailside without thinking of Mrs. Still, so thank you for everything.
We are going to take a break in just a moment, But before that, we are very excited to do our classroom spotlight tonight, and we have students here from Levine Elementary School that have worked very hard, and they're going to represent their school well tonight with their teacher, Ms. Smith. And for that, I will introduce Principal Melissa Garcia.
Good evening, President Berrigan, members of the board, Dr. Sprout, colleagues, and guests. Okay. I would like to begin by acknowledging, first and foremost, the artwork that we have on display in the back of the room. That's from our amazing Levine art students, and I want to extend my gratitude to Mr. Anthony Stubias, our art teacher. He was unable, I thought that wasn't on, he was unable to be here today, but we definitely appreciate all he does to support our students each day and for his efforts in fostering a love for art with our young Hogs. At Levine Elementary, our mission is to educate and inspire all to achieve high levels of learning, and our vision, every Hawk, every day, no exceptions, all means all, drives every instructional decision that we make. We know that becoming a skilled reader requires time, consistency, and daily practice. That is why our students engage in structured partner reading during Tier 1 instruction every day across all content areas beginning in kindergarten. Structured partner reading aligns directly with our instructional guarantees, which emphasize active engagement, high-quality, standards-based instruction, visible evidence of student learning, and the consistent use of school-wide, high-yield instructional strategies. Partner reading provides opportunities for students to engage with grade-level text, apply decoding and comprehension skills collaboratively, and demonstrate learning through discussion and summarization. This practice also supports our school-wide goals and initiatives, including data-driven instructional planning, the intentional use of evidence-based strategies. Through structured partner reading, students actively engage in their learning, receive meaningful feedback from their peers and teachers, and strengthen fluency and comprehension. By embedding this practice into daily instruction, we ensure that every Levine Hawk has the opportunity to achieve academic growth and literacy success, fulfilling our promise that all means all. It is now my pleasure to introduce our amazing third grade teacher, Miss Melody Smith.
Good evening, President Berrigan, Dr. Sprout, members of the board, colleagues, and guests. We are excited and honored to be here tonight, and I am so proud to showcase these amazing third grade students to you and share just a small window into the learning that happens in our room every day. In our classroom, students work in strategic partnerships that are created using data. These partnerships give students the support they need to learn from one another and be more successful. Before students work in this type of Tier 1 partnership, the skills and scaffolds are explicitly taught, and in whole group instruction, we model, practice, and rehearse routines together first. Then students apply those skills in structured partnerships, and eventually these routines guide students into independent applications where they can successfully practice the standard on their own while I provide feedback and collect real-time assessment data. Tonight, you will see just a small portion of our Tier 1 literacy routine. In a moment, my students will engage in structured partner reading with each of you. This structured routine helps students think deeply about nonfiction topics, identify main ideas and supporting details, and build strong academic language and collaboration skills. While reading standards are not taught in isolation, in this particular lesson, we will focus on the essential standard, RI 3.2, main idea and supporting details. As you join a third grader in this routine tonight, you will follow these steps. First, partners will begin by previewing each question so they have a clear purpose for their reading. Next, you will identify partners A, B, and C if needed. All partners will point under the words as they read. Partner A will read aloud, while partners B and C will read in their heads. Partners B and C will then share what they heard the paragraph was mostly about. Partners will switch roles, and you will continue this process until you finish the passage. Finally, both partners will work together to answer each question, making sure to find the evidence that supports their answers. And now for the real stars of our school. Elias Bland, Mia Acosta, Ayla Valencia, Emelyn Lopez Bugarin, Diego Barnica Hernandez, Darlene Monroe, Lily Chris, and Harmony Roper.
What's your name again, Mia? Hi, nice to meet you. How old are you? Nice. Okay, this is that. Are you Diego? I think you're with me too. Okay, where do I go? Very beginning?
All right, let's do this.
All right.
My book? What page?
Okay, let's go.
All right.
First, you. I'm partner.
Okay, so you're A and B.
Okay.
I'm gonna read in my head. I'm gonna read it out loud. And then we're gonna read the questions first.
Okay. All right.
I love it.
You want to take care of it?
Oh, and also we're gonna stop.
While you read? Okay.
And every time we read after we read the word, it's gonna be fast. So that means we're gonna show what we're heard.
Okay.
Do you have to read the questions first? Okay.
What is the topic of this section?
What is the main idea of this section?
And what are some of the details that support the main idea? So you're going to read, and I'm going to read in my head. And we're both going to put our fingers on, right? Okay.
Sometimes the words each school had
Oh, okay. So we're going to just talk about this first to get away. Okay. So to answer these questions, we have
we talk about what we just heard. A villager had that because us, that, and built a school. This could scare us. Had a list and these 6 students. Some each would have to watch out for so children from the 2 or 3
What is the topic of this section? Are you asking me that?
No, you have to share what you heard.
Okay. What I heard was that this is about schools in Alaska, and that a lot of the places didn't have schools, and so sometimes kids had to go far. My turn? All the grades, 1st through 8th, were taught in one room all at once. One student remembers being the only 7th grade student on the school honor roll, but then he was also the only 7th grader in school that year.
The school used to have 6 students. One student remembers being the only 7th grader on the honor roll, but then he was also the 7th grader in the
He would have to watch out for all the grades were bears.
Student remembrance meeting. All grades, first through 8, were taught. They're one grade. You said one student remembers being
I heard that he would have to walk out.
He was also
Oh, I'm sorry.
7th grade in school that year. Okay, what did you hear there? That's like everyone
Back then, about 60 years ago, schools used lanterns or light a wood or oil stove for heat and a pail with a dipper for water. Their bathroom was in a little building outside. Once teachers remembered
What I heard was it was kind of scary sometimes going to school because, or going home from school because there were wolves and that they used
She said
things
we
like
always
lanterns
and bears
simple things to
flashlights.
help the classroom. For these Athabascans, living out in the wilds was an adventure. It was all an education. They learned the old ways and practiced them, but that didn't stop them from learning the new ways of a new world in school, even if the school had only a single room.
I heard that Athabascans
They learned a lot of things, huh? It's pretty cool.
Now I'm going to topic up the
Going to school.
Oh, and they had used wood for heat.
What is the main idea? Well, the main idea is like.
I don't want to interrupt. These are amazing conversations, but we are going to go ahead and stop. But thank you so much for joining us in our literacy routine of structured partner reading. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. If you just take all your students right up here, that'd be great.
Did you want to leave this here or do you want to
Parents, come on up closer so you can. Thank you, Ms. Smith and students. I had a chance to watch all of our board work with you. I know Lily means business when it comes to reading. I forgot to put my finger down, and I was looking down, I look up, and she's like, your finger needs to be on the word. So, but students, you're doing great work. It is exciting to see you here tonight. Family and parents and friends that are here tonight, thank you for your support of your children, of our district. It is wonderful to partner with you. And so thanks again. Let's give Levine Elementary another round of applause.
All right. Thank you, students, for being here with us tonight and reading with us. That was an enjoyable experience for all of us, and parents, thank you for sharing your kiddos with us this evening. They are brilliant, they are beautiful, and they have very bright futures, and we appreciate you picking Levine for them to take their education. So with that, we are going to take a break, and you can stay for the business portion if you'd like. It's not as cute or exciting, but you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave. Thank you. In the meeting, we have our 2025 Student Achievement presentation by Ms. Zimbruski, I believe. Are you ready? We're ready.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I was yapping. I know that's a shocker.
It's all good.
Good evening, President Berrigan, members of the board, Dr. Sprout, and all of these awesome guests that chose the back of the room. I'm excited to share with you in a little bit of detail about our student achievement. I know you guys you already are aware of our letter grades and things like that, but I wanted to just kind of give you an update of where we stand and where we are moving forward. So first of all, like you've heard, we really are operating off of 10 aspirations, and we, like Dr. Sprout shared a few board meetings ago, we built action steps around these, but tonight we're really focusing on student achievement and instructional excellence. And all of these aspirations, no matter what we do, they all tie into that, right? If students feel safe at school, the chance of them learning definitely increases. So first off, we're going to start with just our aspiration of student achievement and just our commitment to the academic achievement of students in preparation not only for high school but beyond. So that brings us to how are we measured? How do we measure our student achievement? How does the state measure us? And that's with our Arizona's Academic Standards Assessment and our Arizona Science Test, so AASA and AZ-SCI. So this is a test that's given to all of our 3rd through 8th graders in the spring, in April, and it assesses them in ELA and math. And then for AZ-SCI, all of our 5th and 8th graders take that in the spring as well. So we've got several celebrations. Yes, we are disappointed that we only had one A this year, but we're excited that all of our schools are A's and B's. And with that, 4 of our schools are literally within 2 points of an A. So it's one of those things you're like, no, I was right there. But we've got some plans in place that we really feel like we're going to get them over that edge. And for whatever reason, we seem to, it's like a teeter-totter each year, kind of like playing on that A- B+ line. But we are excited, and another congratulations to Vista Del Sur for achieving that A again this year. We did increase district-wide in our ELA proficiency, so we will take all the small gains we can get there, so that's exciting. And you saw a demonstration of our lovely ELA tonight, right? Those kids are doing a fantastic job. 5 of our schools increased in their overall ELA proficiency, and our 8th grade as a district, our percent passing was higher than the state average, with an overall increase from last year of 6%. So that is a huge celebration for us. And district-wide, our math proficiency remained the same as last year, but honestly, with our implementation of Eureka Math Squared, our brand new curriculum, we're okay with that. We know that it was a first year and there was a lot of hurdles to overcome with changing the way that we teach math and the approach, and it's really a rigorous program, but for us to remain the same as the prior year is not a horrible thing, but I'm expecting some great gains this year. And with that, 4 of our grade levels did increase in proficiency, with 4th grade increasing by 6%. And 5 of our schools did increase in their overall math proficiency. And we always like to decrease the number of minimally proficient students that we have, and so as a district, we did decrease by 2%. And our 8th grade science scored above the state average, which is exciting. Last year, we weren't able to celebrate too much with our 8th grade science, but this year, we saw that increase, and so it's exciting that they scored above the state average. And we can't forget about our English language learners. We had 103 of them that were reclassified as English proficient. That marks a 7.3% higher reclassification rate than the state average. So a lot to celebrate. So taking a closer look here, overall the past 10 years, this shows our overall ELA proficiency rate. So you can see we are still not back to our pre-pandemic of 41. We are at 38, small increase, but it is an increase over a prior year. And the state average is what's in the gray box at 40%. And then likewise with our math proficiency, we are still like trying to fill that gap that really hit us hard during COVID and the pandemic, just really kids not being able to be in school and learn math with their teachers right there to help them really did put us behind, but We're making gains, and like I mentioned earlier, with Eureka Math Squared, the level of instruction that we're seeing in our classrooms is bound to pay off. It is just, our teachers are doing phenomenal things, and our kids are getting used to that more rigorous type of math instruction. And our 5th and 8th grade, remember just 5th and 8th grade take science, and so their average is right there at the state passing rate of 28. And then just a reminder of how the state determines our overall letter grades. So 50% is based on growth, and that's a huge percentage, which is awesome because we've got some students that, you know, they might have some learning disabilities or something, so they may never actually be proficient in ELA or math, but if they're making some great growth, at least that counts for something, right? Because they're still learning. Proficiency is 30%, and this is proficiency in ELA and math, and then 10% is on acceleration and readiness, and 10% is for our English language learners. So I'll go into more detail on that here. So for the proficiency, this is students that take the AASA and the MSAA, which is an alternative assessment for some of our special needs students. And this is 3rd through 8th graders that are full academic year. That's what that phase stands for. So they had to start with us within the first 10 days of the school year in order to count. And that is 30%. It's a weighted proficiency, so students that score minimally proficient, we get 0 points for. If they scored partially proficient, we get 0.6 of a point. Proficient is 1 point, and highly proficient is 1 3/10 of a point. And then that's, again, worth 30%. And our growth is worth 50%, like I mentioned, so all of our 4th through 8th grade students who took AASA as 3rd graders, they're put in a pot with other students that scored the same as them the prior year, and they measure how much they grew as compared to their peers that scored the same as them the prior year. And then they're giving a number between 1 and 99, and then there's points you can get for that as well. If you were high growth, then you get 2 points, and so there's different measurements. And then 10% is based on our EL proficiency and our EL growth. So how proficient were our EL students? Like I shared with you, we had several hundred that became proficient, and then how many students changed in proficiency levels with their Azella testing. And then 10% is based on acceleration and readiness. So 6 points can be earned by basically improving in various subgroups, demographics, populations such as your homeless population, military student population, these sorts of things. So you can max out at 6 points for all of those subgroups. But then you also have a chance to earn other points. So if you decrease the number of 8th grade students scoring minimally proficient in math, you can get 2.5 points. Likewise, if you increase the number of 8th grade math students scoring highly proficient, you can get 2.5 points. And then 3rd grade, if you decrease the number of students scoring minimally proficient in ELA from the prior year, then you can earn 5 points that way. Another way you can earn 2 points is by SPED inclusion. So the state recognizes if you have a high population of special education students as compared to the state average, and then also by reducing your chronic absenteeism from and that's 1st through 8th graders are counted in that. So if you decrease over the prior year, you can also earn 2 points that way. And then, like I mentioned, bonus points, you can receive up to 2 points for SPED students. So these are students that these are like our resource students, so they spend at least 80% of their day in the general education classroom, and you're measured against the state average, and you have to be within a certain standard deviation of the state average to earn those 2 points. And then based on your your AZ-SCI science proficiency in 5th and 8th grade, you can earn up to 3 points as compared to the state average. So how did we do? Well, here's a breakdown of each of our schools and each of the categories there. And just as a reminder, this is a weighted proficiency, so that isn't saying that at Vista only 30% of the students are proficient in ELA or math. 30 is the highest you can get there. Okay, it's a weighted proficiency. And then the growth, again, the highest you can get for growth is 50, so you can earn up to 25 points for your growth in ELA and 25 points for your growth in math. And I'm happy that we're all in the 40s. We like to be more, a little bit closer to that 50, but at least we're all in the 40s, and if we can get all the schools up to about 46 or 47% at least in growth, that would be phenomenal. And then in EL, Vista doesn't have a score here because they didn't have at least 10 students that were EL students last year, so they didn't get points for that. But all of our other schools then, you could get 5 points for proficiency, 5 points for growth. And then our acceleration and readiness. The reason there are 4 schools there that have asterisks, I mentioned earlier you can get 2 points for reducing your chronic absenteeism rate from prior year. These 4 schools received 2 points for decreasing. However, the data that was pulled from the state isn't accurate, and so we're actually appealing that. You're like, why would you appeal something to take 2 points away when we didn't earn them? But we want to make sure the data is correct. And the nice thing about that is if the state does get it corrected, it's not going to impact the school's overall letter grade, but we will know that the correct data was in the system. So that's why those are asterisked. And then the bonus points, this is for your science and your special education population. And then it gives you an overall points. And you'll see Vista has total points eligible out of 90. Again, that's because they don't have the 10 eligible points for EL. And then each school received a letter grade. And here's the breakdown. So we've got all these Bs, 1A, and it does make the district an overall letter grade of a B. And the way they figure that for the district is it's like a GPA, just like you would for your grade report. 4 points for an A, 3 points for a B. So we always like to say, how do we compare to the other schools, the other districts that feed into Phoenix Union? So again, we're second to Madison. We seem to always be second to Madison, but at least we're getting really close to that state average. And again, we're putting a lot of things in place to hopefully get us a lot of growth this year. This is our ELA. So we do have a large margin over the other feeder districts, but we also have amazing teachers and amazing programs here, so we should be that high. And then here we are with our math. Not as much of a gain over the other ones, but we're still in second. And then here's our AZ Sci for our 5th and 8th graders. This is a neat thing too. We're like, okay, what does the median look like for us? So we've talked about averages and things like that. So Catherine Prairie, which got recognized tonight, put together this awesome median letter grade. So it shows all K-8 schools and where did their median fall for each of those different categories and where did we fall. And so the bold ones are the highest ones, obviously, in those categories. So our overall growth median was 45.94, which is higher than any of the Phoenix feeders and also all the K-8 schools median. And again, EL proficiency and growth, our median's 10, which is great. And bonus points is only at 2, so that's one that we're really hoping we can get up closer to 5 this year. And our overall percentage median was 82.28, which does put us in the solid B range. And then this is another way of looking at, this shows all the different breakdown of letter grades for each district for each of their schools. So you can see down there that we're in the middle blue box there, Levine Elementary District, 1A, 8 Bs. So 89% of our schools are Bs compared to statewide traditional K-8. There's just 39% that are Bs. And lots of C's and D's. So we're thankful, even though we're not super excited about just having A's and B's and not having as many A's as we'd like, we're really thankful that we don't have any C's or below. And just one more way to look at it, 100% of our schools are A's and B's compared to the traditional K-8 in the state is just at 74%, and the feeder schools for Phoenix Union are at 64%. So the other thing we like to do is compare us to the local charter schools. These aren't all right here in Levine, but they're in our vicinity. So there are 3 A's, and then you see all the B's, and then there is a C in there as well. Just the reason there's an asterisk there by Heritage and Country Gardens, they serve some high school grades that we don't service, and they're considered a hybrid because of that. So their scores are figured differently, and they have different cut scores and things like that. So that's why there's an asterisk there. But shout out to those 3 schools for getting an A. But again, I feel very confident that we're going to have a lot more A's this upcoming year because look at how close we are.
So it's like I said earlier, yes, we've got 1A and 8 Bs, but we've got 4 of those schools, Desert Meadows, Trailside Point, Estrella Foothills, and Paseo Point, that are literally right there. They're on the cusp. So we're going to get them over the edge, and then everybody else up there as well. So next, I want to talk about our next aspiration, instructional excellence. So you've got all this data, which is awesome, but what are we doing with it, and how are we moving forward so that we do get, that student achievement up? So some of the things we're putting into place, first of all, you guys know about professional learning communities. You were amazing and allowed us to get that into our calendar last year, and then we extended it by 30 minutes. And that has just been really powerful. It's really given the teachers more time to collaborate with one another, bring those student artifacts and look at what are the students doing in the classroom, what is it showing us, how can we adjust our instruction, and have those deep conversations teacher to teacher. And then on top of that, our principals this year are engaging in professional learning communities with their colleagues. So we do that monthly at our principal meetings. Likewise, our assistant principals have a PLC too that we lead. And our instructional coaches on Fridays meet with Dr. Watkins, and they have a professional learning community where they're bringing those artifacts from their classroom observations. So we're having that dialogue throughout the district at every level. And then we sit in council and talk about it, and what are we seeing out when we're out in the field. And so that has been really, really powerful. Also, our district pacing guides. We're really focused. Each summer, Dr. Watkins really looks at them, gets the feedback, and sees how can we adjust our pacing guides to make sure that, hey, we're getting those essential standards that these kids are going to be tested on in April. Are we getting those taught early enough in the year to where the students have time to master it by the time we have assessments? And really helping our teachers stay in line with those pacing guides as well. Eureka Math Squared, I've talked a little bit about already, but it's exciting. Today, we went out, the coaches, we spent literally the entire day walking through Eureka Math classrooms with our consultant from EM2 and just kind of gauging what are the trends we're seeing out there, how can we best support our teachers as they implement this rigorous curriculum. And it was powerful. And we came back with the coaches and we had these great conversations, and tomorrow at their coaches meeting, they're going to dialogue more about what these informal observations look like today and what are our steps moving forward. How can we coach our teachers at improving on how they deliver EM2? With that, I know this isn't for this year, but it's a powerful thing we're involved in this year that's really going to impact our instruction moving forward, and that's adopting a new ELA curriculum. We've got a huge committee, very involved and engaged in selecting a curriculum. And I know in a couple weeks, several of us are going out to Avondale to walk through some of their classrooms at one of the curriculums that we're considering. We're also going to another district here in a couple weeks to see a different curriculum being implemented so that we can really bring back and make the best decision moving forward for our ELA curriculum. We also started some common district assessments this year. So again, these are written in the pacing guide. It helps our teachers stay on pace, knowing that, hey, I've got to give this assessment that all of my colleagues across the district are giving. And it just gives us that more data to draw from. If you see that, there's one school that just is really getting a lot different results on a particular assessment, let's talk. What are they doing that's different? What can we implement? What can we steal for their instructional strategies if they're having so much better success and that sort of thing? The other thing we've put into place is we've strengthened our educator goal plans and really being very purposeful with these and making sure that our teachers know, okay, let's really hone in and select which students are we focused on here, which ones do we need to make sure we're really checking in on a more regular basis, which ones do we need to make sure we're having tutoring groups for, and teachers are writing those into their plans, and administrators are meeting with them 3 times a year to discuss that and change it and adapt it as needed. Coaching cycles. We believe everyone needs to be coached, right? We all have areas in which we can improve on. And so that's another thing we're doing. Our teachers all have coaching plans. Our coaches have coaching cycles that they've scheduled with these teachers to help them co-plan, co-teach, model teach, and just kind of that gradual release. And we're seeing some great improvement in our instruction with this awesome coaching cycles. Collaborative walkthroughs, I mentioned what we did today with our EM2, but on top of that, our principals all get together and they walk with 3 of us from district, and we go through, they share their classrooms with us, and we go through and we just have powerful conversations about what we're seeing and how we can help each other move our teachers forward. Because sometimes when you have an outsider coming in and you're vulnerable and willing to hear what they're seeing and what they have to say, that's just powerful. And you learn some things and you're like, wow, I didn't pick up on that. And our principals do a great job just having those collaborative conversations with each other. And our EL coordinator, Angie Gandy, has created school action plans with our school administrators for English language learners. We're not okay that all of our schools didn't receive all 10 points. We're not okay that our English language learners aren't all moving towards proficiency at the rate we want them to. So she's created with them and met with them this summer to create action plans, and we go out and do walkthroughs of those classrooms to see how can we better improve our strategies that we're utilizing with our EL learners. And again, going back to our professional learning communities, by you guys approving a 30-minute increase in our PLC Wednesdays, that's given our principals the opportunity to really have some power PDs. So they're able to do like a 20 to 30-minute power PD on, hey, let's focus in on this instructional strategy or whatever it happens to be, whatever trend they're seeing on their campus. And so it gives them that opportunity to do that and then still have time to have those powerful professional learning communities. And then the other position that we've increased by this year is the Dean of Student Attendance. You might think, okay, well, we can't teach our kids if they're not at school. And so our Dean of Student Attendance has done a great job already, working closely with schools and families, helping them see the importance of their child being at school each and every day so that we can move them towards proficiency. And so I'm excited to see not only how will our chronic absenteeism levels decrease, but how that's going to impact in a positive way our overall student achievement. And then last year, I gave you an update on something the state was doing on indicator scoring, so I just felt like it probably was important to update you again, because last year I shared with you that this year when they released letter grades, we would also get a grade for indicators. So we would get an overall school letter grade, but then we'd also get one for, each school would get a letter grade for proficiency, a letter grade for growth, and a letter grade for these various indicators, and that hasn't happened. So I didn't want you to think I lied to you. I just thought I better give you an update. So again, this is statute that has long, we're past the due date, but it's the A through F letter grade has to assign these indicator grades. So the update is the Arizona State Board of Education is hosting these study sessions. In fact, the next one is tomorrow, and it's basically giving a chance for kind of a forum for the board members to ask questions. Basically what has happened is as they've tried to determine like cut scores and kind of how they will figure these individual letter grades, it's kind of unveiled that there's some discrepancy in our overall letter grade system, which is kind of hidden when you put them all in one pot. But when you start separating them out, it kind of, the data is skewed pretty greatly. So they're trying to work out those kinks, and they're doing that by hosting these study sessions and some just sharing information and what they're seeing and getting the board's input. So I'll keep you posted on that. But I didn't want you to think, wow, why didn't we get indicator scores this year? So again, that next study session is tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you, because Levine's instructional team is every single one of us, and it starts with you guys being the most supportive board, probably in the state of Arizona, if not the nation. You guys are tremendous, and we hear the stories, but we couldn't ask for a better, more supportive board. And then obviously the people on the front lines, our administrators out at the schools, our teachers doing a phenomenal job, all of our instructional associates, our bus drivers getting them to school. I mean, it literally is every single one of us, our public, supporting our bonds and overrides so that we can provide the best facilities for our students to learn in and the best academic curriculum and things for them. So it takes every single one of us, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone involved in that. And with that, I would welcome any questions or comments.
Thank you, Ms. Zimbruski. I don't have any questions, but just want to make a few statements. I know that, some people may feel a little bit of disappointment and some steps backwards But that's often where we learn from things and learn how to do things better. And just like with any student's instructional journey, it's not linear. They move forward and take some steps back. And so, this is expected to be happening on occasion. I would also just sort of remind everybody, if you are feeling some disappointment, that while the calculations for those scores are objective, some of the determinations about 50% for growth versus 30% for achievement and all of that, those are subjective. Multiple people have determined that that's where the cutoffs are for those things. So those could be cut in different ways, and there are other areas that are subjective and all of that. I do know that Dr. Sprout, everyone on his executive team, all of our administrators, principals, teachers know that this is the most important thing that we do in the district. That's the conversation that Dr. Sprout and I had yesterday. And it is our focus, it is our laser focus. You can see that in the plans that you laid out moving forward. And we know that we have incredible people throughout the district that care about our kids, care about doing right by our community. I appreciate the thoughtfulness in the next steps. I appreciate the clarity with which you presented the information tonight. I know that we are moving forward and moving upwards, and I thank you and everyone in the district for your work with our students.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Well, I could definitely give this presentation, so I'm very familiar with this. But I do want to say that I know that you all need to be really proud about the letter grades that you did receive, and that's not the overarching label of your school, because there is so much more that is involved in your schools that really demonstrate just exceptional education and just work that all of you guys are doing. And so it's not, there's more to the story at each of your school sites. And I know how close several of you guys are, how that just aches a little bit, because I feel that with a lot of the schools that I work with in Avondale. And so to really fight through and look through all the little details, you have to just keep pressing on and just keep impacting each kid and be proud of the work you're doing and continue to look at all of those assessments and make it actionable. And so you're step in the right direction. So my only question would just be, I'm just more curious about what percentage of students who are MSAA and what supports they have so that they are also achieving.
We have about a 1.3% rate of students on MSAA.
Okay.
So, most of them are in our self-contained special education classrooms, so they receive a lot of extra support.
Sure.
But actually, the students that do take the MSAA tend to do very well and pass that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really helpful. The students that we struggle with are the ones that don't quite meet the measure to be assessed using MSAA.
Sure.
But yet they still have some great learning disabilities.
Correct.
And so those, it's a challenge, but we got to keep moving forward with them.
Perfect.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to thank you for presenting all of this, and it's really good and helpful the way that you broke it down. On one of the action steps, I just had a question. You had mentioned the common district assessment, and is that different than, or in addition to the NWEA, we're doing more assessment for data points?
The NWEA is benchmark assessments that we give 3 times a year, in the fall to get that baseline, and then the winter to check on their growth, and then in the spring to see kind of how their overall growth was. The common formative assessments that we're utilizing are part of our curriculum. So it's those unit tests and things that teachers are already giving when they finish up a module or a unit. But now we're just making sure that it's in the pacing guide, and we're making sure that all of our teachers are giving those, because sometimes teachers were tending to kind of make their own up, which is fine, but we know the ones within, especially Eureka Math, but all of our curriculum, they're really aligned at the appropriate level to the standards and the appropriate level of rigor. So we want to make sure that we're really assessing at that correct level. So it's not additional assessments, it's just making sure we're all giving the same assessment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.
Love it. I really like the way that the data is presented, because I think anybody, regardless of your knowledge of how the grades are measured, or my lack thereof knowledge, because I've never seen something like that. Well, we did it last year, but it's broken down in a way everybody can understand. So I appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. We have no call to the public, so the consent agenda is next. Do I have a motion?
Motion? Second.
Motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. And then we have a action item tonight, the guaranteed maximum price amendment for the new classroom building at Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy. Is that the one you had something to share?
Yeah, I can do that. The Chase Building Team has worked with the architectural firm of BWS Architects in the district to cooperatively review design and construction documents for a new classroom building at Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy. This is, we now have a group of 4, we're now in 4th grade with 4 classes per grade level. That will be continuing to move up, so we need more classroom space. Chase has proposed a guaranteed maximum price for the new classroom building of $8.03 million, as detailed in the attachment in the agenda. And we recommend approval.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sprout. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? I see Patrick Shepard here from
Patrick
Chase.
from
I wish I had a
Chase.
hard question for him, but I don't. Happy to move forward with this tonight. So it's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
President Berrigan, if I could add, also we do have another phase at Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy that will be coming before the governing board, and that will be remodeling of the front of the campus, library, cafeteria, front office. And so, but this will be completed by August of 26, this current project that you're approving.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, any comments from the board? We'll start with Mrs. Anderson.
Just again, congratulations on the letter grade. You guys are doing just amazing work. So just keep at that and just enjoy your Thanksgiving break coming up. Have a moment to be thankful for all that has been going on. So,
Mrs. Bell.
Well, thank you so much for that very thorough report. That was awesome. I guess I said that a little bit before, but thank you so much. And thanks for everyone who made that possible. I think you should be proud. I think that
absolutely.
B's and A's are great, especially knowing how much work went into it. So I think you should all be very proud. So thanks everyone for all that you do, all the behind the scenes things you do too, to keep our kids in our community safe and educated and happy. And you know, the school district is really the backbone of a community. So thank you guys for everything. And I love what you said. Have a great Thanksgiving break too.
Mrs. Kitsky.
I just want to say thank you for always keeping our kids and our staff safe, because I know that that is one of my number one concerns. Also, I know in the last month or so, regardless of where you are on a political nature, things have been tough. You guys are seeing parents and students struggle probably more than they have in the past. Thank you to our nutrition department that made a really fast, quick move to be able to supply additional meals and support mechanisms for your students, and then also for those teachers and staff who probably have to stay late to try to get those meals out to students. So I appreciate that. And I know that sometimes you have families, students, teachers, etc., that are coming to you as admin in really tough times, and it breaks your heart just as much as it's breaking theirs. So just know that I appreciate all that you guys do to keep everybody afloat and working towards success all around, regardless of anybody's situation in their personal lives. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Mrs. Obey.
Yeah, just great comments from everyone. I'd second those, and just appreciate all the work that's being done for, as we talk about our the scores, but really what's behind it is all the individual needs of these students. And in this presentation, you touched on that, and it's not just about what the numbers are, it's how are we reaching each of the needs that we have. It's not just about an attendance number, we want these students to learn, and so that is why we care about the attendance and looking at the different special needs and the different areas. And I just really appreciate all the effort being put into
be there for every child in our community and to accept all students. And I think I've heard that mentioned from multiple people throughout our meeting, that we're here for all of our students, all of our children and families. And that's what our school district should do. So I appreciate all that work.
Thank you. I've shared before, this is my favorite time of year, and I love when there are festive people like me. Is this Mrs. Perez again? Thank you for doing that. It makes me happy. As soon as I see Halloween or Christmas stuff, I just start smiling. So just thank you to everybody for what you do. You have some excellent break time coming up. Please use it wisely. Rest, recover, rejuvenate yourselves. And with that, we have our next board meeting on December 4th. And we need a motion to enter into executive session. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody. Yes, thank you guys for always staying, you poor IT people, you. Jeez. Okay, we need to resume the regular meeting. Motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Motion and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and we need to adjourn this meeting.
Motion.
Okay. Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Good night, ladies. Happy Thanksgiving.